Jesus, man. God. So many goddamn options. Am I the only one, guys? I mean, seriously. I'm looking over Netflix, I'm looking over all these digital platforms, and there's so much goddamn content. I literally don't know what to pick. I have literally no clue what to pick, guys. I don't know what to watch. There's so much stuff that I literally cannot decide. Am I the only one? Am I literally the only one? I mean, how do you people even choose stuff off of these digital platforms? I can't pick one thing to watch. There's so many things. I am literally struggling to find something to watch. I could do this for literally hours. This is quite the dilemma, guys. So, if I can't find anything through streaming, there's always the collection, right? I I could pick a comedy. Action movie sounds pretty good. One of the Marvel movies might do. Sci-fi, maybe. A cool Scream Factory title to watch. Oh, God. Guys, I literally am looking at the collection right here, and I could spend another 2 to 3 hours just literally looking at this whole entire collection and not pick a single title to watch. I mean, it's either looking through all of this collection, looking through the collection over there as well, guys. Literally, I have a struggle day in and day out, night after night, whether it's through streaming right here, whether it's through the collection as well. I literally cannot pick a single title to watch. It boggles my goddamn mind, guys. And I know, honestly, I'm not the only one. I know you guys struggle with this stuff as well. And it really is the age-old debate of what is better to invest your time into. Is it better to invest your time into the streaming digital platforms or the physical media right here, guys? Well, to be honest with you, it seems like it's an age-old debate. It seems like it's been going on for literally decades, but in fact, it honestly has not. It's been one of those topics and one of those discussions that in recent memory has been one that people have struggled with and people have debated for quite a while here. Is there a right or wrong answer? Well, not exactly, but in this video I am going to get into some of the details and I am going to get into a discussion about physical media versus streaming. So come along, guys, and let's start the debate on the age-old topic, physical media and streaming. Well, guys, it should be an easy answer, right? I mean, just easy to take a movie from your shelf here and pop it into your DVD or Blu-ray or 4K player and be done with it, right? It's not really that simple, guys, because there is a lot of movies that are on physical media that will never be on the digital platform. That's the honest to God truth. On the other hand, there's a lot of these original and very interesting movies that are coming onto these digital platforms that have not hit on physical media and quite frankly may never hit on physical media. And those are some really great films out there, guys. Some really great stuff that a lot of original programming that you'll see on Netflix and other platforms that is really cool, that is worth watching, but again, they may not hit the platform of physical media for one reason or another. Most of these companies may not even think that it's worth it to even put this stuff out on media, whether they think that they'll get the sales from it or whether they just believe that putting the money into actually processing this stuff, putting it on disc, is it worth all the hassle when you just have a digital platform and you can just click really easily and just watch it right at home on your TV. There's a lot of factors to consider, guys, and to be honest with you, for me, if you've been around the channel enough, you know that I am a physical media lover. I love that stuff. I really honestly do. I do the out and abouts. I go to the stores. I show off the physical media. I really am a big fan and a big lover and somebody who still believes in physical media. On the other hand, I'm not gonna lie, I do love my streamings. I do love going on Netflix and I love checking out some of the original programming stuff that they have. I am interested in a lot of stuff that's coming down the pike. Whether it's Disney Plus that's coming down the line. I also watch stuff through Amazon Prime as well for the videos that I do. And a lot of times the digital platforms are a really nice way to watch movies because, to be honest with you, I am somebody who back in the day I used to blind buy like crazy. I used to blind buy so many titles, guys, that you would not believe. I mean, I had huge like just shelves of just movies that I literally just blind bought. And I would watch it and I'd be like, well, it's not bad, but I mean, I'll keep it on the shelf, whatever. And years later, I realized that maybe that's not the best thing to do because a lot of these titles I never really revisited, to be honest with you. They just sat on the shelf. And I found that going on these platforms, whether it's on Amazon Prime or other things like that, to watch the movie is a very good idea because sometimes you'll watch it and you'll be like, well, it's a good movie, but it was nothing I was ever gonna buy on physical media, and I'm glad I watched it on a digital platform instead of actually investing the money to actually spend on a disc that I may not ever watch again. So there are benefits, there are disadvantages as well. I mean, look, it takes good internet service to watch these digital platforms. I mean, you need a good internet provider. Not only that, but sometimes you're watching it and guess what? It's gonna stop. It's got a buffer and everything like that. And there's a certain level to physical media that streaming will never reach. And the same thing with physical media. I can see both sides of the argument, guys. There is definitely a lot here to unpack. And, you know, when you're looking at these companies and when you're looking at, what has overtaken what sort of platform, right? Because for a long time, physical media was king. I mean, we go back to VHS, we go back to DVD, we go to when Blu-ray was announced, Blu-ray versus HD DVD, the huge war that went on. It was physical media reigns supreme, and streaming has been slowly climbing over the years. Now, depending on who you talk to, other people will say the physical media is still king, that will never overtake streaming, and other people will say that streaming is king and physical media is just completely dying out. There's been a lot of debate, especially in recent memory, when of course we heard about the Samsung issue that they have stopped making Blu-ray and 4K players. They have completely stopped it, the production, and there was a whole bunch of articles out there that said, yeah, the death of physical media, it's done, it's over with, kiss it goodbye. Again, that's not exactly the truth either. Now, I did do some of my due diligence and I did do some research, guys, and there is one report that I found that sheds some light on where physical media stands versus streaming. Now, guys, right here I have the 2018 MPAA theme report, as you can see right here, guys. This is a comprehensive analysis and survey of the theatrical and home entertainment market. It ends up breaking down what the trends are, where the money is going, where they see things going in the future. It's a very interesting and very thorough report, and there's a few things in here that I definitely wanted to show you guys as far as what they are talking about, where physical media is and where streaming is and where they've seen the trends over the years going. Very fascinating stuff. I want to delve into a few of those little points from the report with you guys. Alright, guys, so we are here with the 2018 theme report right here, guys. Now, there's a few interesting things here that I definitely want to show you guys, and some stuff that really is pretty fascinating in this report. So let's scroll down here and look at a few interesting things. Like I said, there's so much stuff here to look at. I will definitely end up putting a link down below in order for you guys to look at this entire report, because it really is very fascinating stuff, guys. But if you go down here a little bit, you'll notice we'll get to, let's head down here. We'll get to, where is it right now? Right here, the home entertainment global market. So this includes international, this includes United States, and everything like that. So what this says right here is, this says, in 2018, home entertainment consumer spending content released digitally and on disc reached 55.7 billion globally, a 16% increase compared to 2017. Digital home entertainment was the driver of growth. U.S. digital spending increased 24% and international digital spending increased 34% when compared to 2017. Since 2014, digital spending has increased by 170% globally, while physical spending has decreased by 48% during the same period, reflecting the shift towards digital viewing choices. Now, if you see here, guys, you have the global market here. You have the blue here for U.S. physical, the lighter blue for U.S. digital, lighter green for international physical, and slightly darker green for international digital. Now, if you look here, you can kind of see right here, guys, I'll kind of get a little closer up. You have, it goes by 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18. As you can see in 2014, guys, that the U.S. physical in 2014 was 10.3. I believe that is B with a billion right there. And the lighter, which is the US digital, was 7.6. And of course, you go to the global, and of course, the physical was more and digital was less. Now, you go over in 2015 here, and now you actually start to see that physical was 9.1 and digital was 8.9. So it is catching up, but not quite there yet. And again, the gap is closing in 2015. You then head over to 2016, and now you see the US digital has completely overtaken the physical by 2016, and the same can be said for international as well. You go over to 2017 right here, guys, and the gap is widening even more right there. And by the time we get to 2018 here, there's no way for physical to catch up at this point. As you can see, you look at the trends there, and it is really absolutely amazing. You see what the trends are, man, and it's just like again, in 2014, physical was more of the dominant one, and even in 2015, you can see that physical was still more dominant, slightly less so, but still more. And then once you head into 2016 and beyond, there was just no way to catch up to the digital whatsoever. Really fascinating stuff with that, guys, over in that part of the report. And there's actually more stuff to look here. That is really just amazing just in itself, man. Absolutely. You can also see over here, guys, that over here they have a little trend thing of where all of the sort of trends are going as far as cable and third-party premiums and online subscription videos like Netflix and whatnot like that. If you look over here, guys, you actually see right here again, it shows 2014 to 2018 for the darker, lighter shade of blue here, the online subscription video from 2014 skyrocketed skyrocketed. Things like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and everything like that really overtook in a big bad way, guys. So that as most of the trends have sort of actually stayed steady or slightly decreased, the online subscription video was huge. Again, it was something that was a trend, something that people were really invested in big time, and it just skyrocketed in a major way. You've got that over there, and then, guys, you actually have one more thing I want to show you guys over here, which is really fascinating as well. You have here again, it's really fascinating stuff, man. So much stuff to actually look at here. Like I said, I will definitely put a link down below. So much stuff, but there's actually one other thing I wanted to show you guys, which is really kind of just shows as more people are staying home and watching more TV and everything. It really sort of hits me like a hammer how some of this stuff really actually is like turning out, like how streaming is actually more prevalent now than it ever was. If you look here, it has the global theatrical and home entertainment consumer spending. Again, if you look, it has the sort of lighter blue, which is physical home entertainment, the lighter green, which is digital home entertainment, and again, the theatrical as well. And again, it's really fascinating here because if you look at this one, guys, right here, again, in 2014, again, the digital was not as big yet. It was not as big yet. Again, the difference there. Again, the gap closed. Then digital went huge. Again, bigger, and even I like again, like again, the physical media shrinking in size, guys. Crazy here, man. Really ridiculous. And even over here, if you actually look right here, it says the 2018 global theatrical and home entertainment consumer spending by percentage share. You see the theatrical has 42%. Digital is actually outdoing theatrical by like 2% more in that, and that's in the entire global market, US and international. And physical home entertainment is only at 14%. It's kind of crazy how it's actually really shrunk in size in a major way over the last even like 4 or 5 years, man. Really has just sort of taken a dive in a big bad way, and digital has definitely just swallowed up the competition, man. Really fascinating stuff here, guys. It really honestly is extremely fascinating to me, man. Just looking at the trends and looking at all the differences here, guys. It is absolutely amazing to me. Again, guys, this is a really fascinating report. It's one that really just shows, I think, as far as I'm concerned, it shows just the differences and how things are changing and how we are actually consuming our media now. Again, I still love physical media, but you can clearly see by this report, guys, that digital is really overtaking things in a big bad way. It's a very fascinating report, guys, and it's one that really does come down to the fact of seeing that that has become the norm. Streaming has become what people know. That's it's become the regular thing. And physical media is shrinking. It's getting smaller. And I mean, it's to me, guys, I think what that report really reflects more than anything else is it does reflect the idea that I think it's a generational gap. I honestly do. Because if you're somebody like me who is more of an old school guy, because I grew up with VHS. My mother and father were huge movie lovers, and they taped a lot of movies on VHS. So I grew up with that. I grew up with VHS. I grew up with Laserdisc. I grew up with DVD and Blu-ray, and I've steadily seen where the market has gone, and I've seen where physical media has as far as going through each phase of it and the different platforms, and I've seen it all. And I think if you're like me and you've went through the phases of physical media and you've seen where it's all went, I think you maintain yourself as a physical media lover. But there's a lot of the younger generation out there, and I'm not even going to say that it's everybody, because it really isn't. But there's a vast majority of the younger generation now who they've only grown up with streaming. They've only grown up with it, and they know nothing else. That is the regular thing for them to do. So for them, buying a physical copy or a disc makes absolutely no sense to them whatsoever. And I feel that's just going to continue more and more, guys. That's just going to be the normal trend. And to be fair, a lot of these companies now, at least the big studios, they're no longer really investing in physical media anymore, guys. I mean, they're really not. To be fair, a lot of them are more focusing on streaming. They're more going that way anyways. And it's basically now more of a niche market. You have a lot of these more independent studios like, Scream Factory, Severin Films, Vinegar Syndrome, Scorpion Releasing, Code Red, Synapse, so many of these companies out there, guys, that are releasing great films on DVD and Blu-ray, but they're very older titles. They're kind of unknown to the mass market. And I mean, there is definitely a hunger for those titles. I have a hunger for them. You guys do as well. But it's not a big chunk of the majority, guys. It's a very small chunk. I mean, these companies still make a lot of money off of these titles, but nowhere near they did back in the day when like places like Anchor Bay were around. And when Anchor Bay was around, they were making cash out the wazoo, guys, big time. A lot of these companies are not doing that anymore, and they have to worry about what titles are releasing and the popularity of them and the sales, and it's getting more complicated and it's getting more worrisome for these companies releasing this media. And like I said, it is shrinking. It's becoming more niche. It's becoming smaller. It's still popular, but it's not as popular as it used to be, and I feel like streaming is definitely overtaking in a big bad way. I mean, there's a lot to definitely talk about when you're talking about this type of subject matter. And I didn't want to just bring just myself on to talk about it, guys. I wanted to bring a couple of the guys in. I wanted to bring my friend Van and my friend John in. They're a little bit older than I am, and they've seen a little bit more of the platforms. They've seen more of the old school movies, and they definitely have varied opinions, more than even I do, on physical media and streaming. So we had a really wonderful discussion, a very informative and unfiltered discussion talking about physical media, the effects that it has on streaming, and how streaming has its effects on physical media. We talked about all of that. We talked about our experiences with the physical media over the years. We talked about our thoughts on all of the platforms. It's a really wonderful discussion, guys. Definitely enjoy our thoughts. Alright, everybody, as I said in the video, I definitely wanted to get more opinions on this topic, guys, and I figured to bring in my two friends here, John and Van, who have been collecting far more than I ever have for far longer, and you guys, well, you're not really all that older. I mean, you are, Van.
I am.
But well, I mean, but you guys have been through a lot as far as seeing the trends going and the physical media and where it's gone over the years. I mean, what is your thoughts on physical media? I mean, as a whole, whether it's VHS, whether it's DVD, whether it's Laserdisc. I mean,
Okay.
where has the trends gone? Do you think, or what is your thoughts on it?
Let's see the thoughts on it. I prefer it.
Okay,
Anything else?
I mean that's fine.
That's all I've been doing since. Let's see.
Well, like
My first VHS, probably like 84.
84.
83, yeah, when I
Okay.
first got my
Wow.
VHS. I never had beta.
You never had
Never
had
beta.
beta.
No VHS.
Do you know what title it was?
What?
I know my first DVD I ever bought.
Oh, okay.
That was Halloween.
Okay, that was
That was
Halloween,
the first one.
The
I know that for a
okay.
fact.
All right.
VHS. Wow.
What about you, Van?
Well, probably back in 70s, early 70s, late 60s. Like I said, 8mm and 16mm.
God damn! Whoa! Holy crap, man!
Well,
Yeah, I mean, you could order them. You'd have to have the projector, obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
And
Yeah.
some were sound, some were, without sound.
Okay.
And basically, it was the horror genre.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
silent movies.
Well, it didn't have sound, so yeah.
What silent movies? Yeah. Okay.
Boy, that's a long time
Damn.
ago.
Yeah.
That's like
That's
50s, 40s.
Oh, when it first started,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah,
This was more of a
Okay.
kind of a hobby. My friend and I both, got into it, where you go down in the basement and put a screen up, and
Yeah.
get your projector running
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Wow,
So
man.
that was it was cool. It was great.
So you've been around to see all of the trends, all of what's
Pretty
come
much.
down
All the
the
way up
line.
to 4K.
All the way
Yeah.
up to 4K. I mean, where do you guys? I mean, the most popular one out of all the formats is definitely DVD.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that's the one. And
Yep.
and when you saw a DVD come in, did you say to yourself that this is unique, this is interesting, or were you like, I don't know where this is going, I don't know what's gonna happen here?
I thought it was very unique because to me it was about picture quality.
Okay,
Blu-ray, and then you knew sooner or later down the road they're going to get better.
sure.
And now 4K right now, and now there's going to be what's after 4K.
God,
8K,
8K,
12K, exactly.
something like that.
Oh,
I mean,
it
it's
was-
always shifting.
I love DVD,
Yeah,
but the picture quality wasn't so great.
sure. I mean,
But it's just the next
it's the next phase.
next phase. It's
in
just,
it. I mean,
we're still in the next phase. We don't know what's next.
We're still always in those
Yeah.
phases.
Yep.
I mean, for you, Van, you're probably somebody who has
Well,
seen it all. So I mean,
So
for
far.
you, DVD was probably like going to the next level.
It was totally different.
Okay.
It's easier. Easier though.
Because much easier. Guess the thing that I liked about the videotape was at the time, you could speed through it, you could rewind it,
Fast
you
forward,
could
yeah.
stop at a particular
Yes.
screen, a scene or whatever.
Absolutely.
And of course, then just the fact that you had something physical and you could watch it anytime you wanted.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
That's true. True too.
Yes, it is.
I mean, for you and even you, John,
Okay.
we are all collectors. We love
Absolutely.
media. For
Yep.
you guys, VHS was like a big thing, collecting those movies on VHS.
Oh, yeah.
So when it hit to DVD, was it a natural thing of like, I'm just gonna rebuy all the stuff?
For me, yeah.
You are you okay?
For me, yes.
I think it was more selective for me.
Yeah.
And of course, going way back to say your 50s and 60s sci-fi and horror,
Yeah.
I had to wait
Well,
for it to come out.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true too.
And now the same thing is happening with Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much of that is
I mean-
actually going to be coming out on Blu-ray? Yeah, you have the Universal, monsters, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that comes out.
But there's some other movies that, for example, War of the Worlds. Is that ever going to come out on Blu-ray? The original version.
Yeah, the original one.
Surprised it's not out by now.
Yeah,
Everything
you
else
would-
from it is.
You would
Yeah.
think.
Maybe it's a
but-
licensing thing.
It
I don't know.
might be a licensing issue.
No, it's
it's
an issue.
It's one of those things. I mean, for me, I mean, the VHS was like always something that to me was like so amazing because my mother and father, they would have these blank VHS tapes and they would put like 3 or 4 movies on the VHS.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would do that. So for me, it was like, oh my god! In one VHS tape, you would have horror,
Yeah.
you would have
Oh,
sci-fi,
I'd have a
you would
mixture
an
all the
action
time.
movie.
I-
It blew my mind.
I had Weird Science, Night of the Creeps, Aliens, Vamp.
Vamp, yeah, Vamp.
all on like one VHS
Yeah.
tape, and that's what me and my brother watched. We had more,
Sure,
but we were like, that was it.
that was the thing.
Watch in the morning and the afternoon.
Yeah.
All the time.
And the fact that you had a machine that you could set, you know, if a movie came on at 2, 3 in the morning,
Record it.
okay, you didn't have to get up and, you know, do it. You could program it,
Yes.
okay, which was new to me,
Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
But once I did it a few times, it was like, wow, this is cool.
It was and that's where, you know, the thing about it is, for me, like I was working at Media Play when DVD was starting to come in.
Yeah.
So that was like 98, 99
Yeah.
at that point. I was working there, so you have a whole like back wall of VHS. And it was kind of like a whole thing where you would just slip out the VHS and you know, could buy it and everything. When DVD came in, that was a big thing of like, you know, you have a small section. Everyone's like, yeah, this new thing, DVD. I don't know, like
Exactly.
what,
Yeah.
you know. And I remember my very first DVD movie I ever bought was Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace.
Oh wow.
I bought that on DVD, and for a while I couldn't even watch it because I didn't even have a DVD player.
Yeah.
But I bought it because this was new and interesting, and it was Star Wars, and I wanted to get it. It was the newest format, and I mean, it blew my mind. It was very different from VHS in the fact that you didn't have multiple movies on one thing.
Yeah.
It was only one, but what came with it was the special features.
Special features.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
those are
great. Yes.
That's my whole
That's
world.
what you're about.
My
That's
whole
what you're
world.
about.
My whole
I
I'm
know.
all about, guys.
Yeah.
Special features, baby.
Yep.
For me, like that documentary on episode 1, the making of it, and them being in the Tunisia desert and everything. Yeah.
Not even-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was amazing to me.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, oh my god, to actually see the process and also the audio commentary.
I was just gonna
and-
say that.
Oh my god, and everything. It blew my
Especially
mind
with
away.
Star Wars, because they always have good special features.
Yes.
You know.
So for me, it blew my mind away seeing that, and I'm like, this is something that VHS doesn't have.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when
With
I'm
DVD,
like,
you can hold more footage.
You can
and-
hold
and
more stuff
There's
on
more storage, I think.
I mean, for you guys, I mean, for you, Van, as well, it's like, you know, I mean, to go from 8mm.
Wow.
To go from 8.
I don't remember that.
Oh shit. To go from 8mm. Then
I was
to,
quite young at the time.
You can still get them today, but they're
well,
very, very limited.
yeah,
And you
And
gotta have the
expen-
right projector.
And it's probably expensive.
it's probably
too.
expensive as hell, I would imagine.
I don't see why. I mean,
But
Kind of like what 4K when the 4K first came out.
Okay, that kind of thing.
Go for, yeah.
But
Yeah.
for you guys, I mean, see, going from 8mm to a VHS where the possibilities seemed endless, and then to go to DVD where like it's a little limited in the fact of not
Yeah.
as many movies, but you have this wealth of like, oh my god, features and making of and
every jump from 8mm to VHS, there was always something new happening.
new happening.
You know, you can pause it, you can rewind, fast forward. You couldn't do that with 8mm, and you're like,
Oh,
and then,
oh my god.
Then
wow.
DVD
Great.
holds more
Sure.
special features.
Yes.
You can pause it. Same thing. You go to chapters, different
Yeah.
chapters.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, then Blu-ray, same thing.
Same thing.
But you get a lot of features.
You have better picture
Better
quality.
picture quality.
Yes.
Sound got better.
Sounded dig it.
Sound got better. So each jump got better.
Well, I mean, what did you guys think? I mean, did you guys see the extra features and everything as, well, this is great, but I don't know if I'm really into this, or did you guys jump right on board? I'm like, oh my god, there's a whole new world of finding out new stuff.
That's a good question. I think when
No?
I think when I started watching. What's that?
What?
No,
I missed it.
No, you didn't.
I would say.
Say what you-
Well, I'm more of a. I like picture quality.
You like so
I'm a picture quality guy.
you were never for the features.
I do watch features
You like
occasionally,
Okay.
but when I look at reviews, I like sound and picture quality.
So you were, when DVD came in,
Yes.
you were hesitant.
Well, with DVD, kind of, but it was just so much easier to use.
And so easy.
You know, and then and then later on, it wasn't instantly about picture quality.
No.
It's just about how easy accessible it is to watch it. Because I had the first PlayStation and it had a DVD.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then that's how I started watching it out.
So for you, you liked the jump,
Yes, I did.
but you weren't as on board with it at first.
Not at first, of course,
Okay.
because all the titles weren't available.
Sure,
Slowly, slowly, and
And
then
it's come
then you
through.
hear about Blu-ray and you're like picture quality,
And it's
and it's
jumped.
like, you know. Then when I first got my Blu-ray player, I can't remember when my first Blu-ray was, but whatever it was, when I saw the picture quality, it just blew my mind.
I remember, this is something I remember. We'll still get back to the DVD thing,
Yeah.
but I remember I was thinking about going over to Blu-ray.
I remember that.
You were a big you were like, Seth, Blu-ray man, go for it. I'm like, John, I don't know. I
was
love my
into it,
DVD.
yeah.
Yes, and so what happened is that you said so we were at, I think we were at Best Buy,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. They had the 2009 Star Trek on,
Okay.
and you said, look at this. They had the opening sequence
Yes,
of
I do
Star
remember
Trek
that.
'09. You said, watch it.
Yep.
And this is Blu-ray,
Yep.
and it blew my fucking mind away. It blew it away. I was like, I said to myself, I said, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yep.
I said,
I remember that.
what have I been doing with my whole life? I said,
Blu-ray changed your life.
Blu-ray changed my life, and I moved on.
Yep.
You know, but
It's tough.
it is tough, and for you, Van, I mean, somebody who liked those older formats, you going to a DVD, did those special features, did all those things actually add up to you wanting to go for the format, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love special features.
Yeah.
You know, just to how something was done. You know, where the ideas came from. Anything like that. You know, I'm kind of analytical person, so I like to see things broken down. And I think with me,
Yeah.
the first thing that I was thinking of was, okay, they're coming out with Blu-ray now. I've got all these titles on DVD. Am I going to have to go out and buy every single one on Blu-ray now?
Yeah,
But once,
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
And
It's a choice.
once I saw the difference, and once it was just like how the TVs have evolved.
Yes, absolutely.
Once I put the two together, put Blu-ray together with a nice TV.
Yeah.
Not just size and screen, but quality of the picture.
Sure.
It was like
The experience is
oh
so
my word,
enhanced.
where
You know what I'm saying?
Is so amazing.
Makes it better.
And do I long for the days of VHS again? No, not really. I really honestly don't. I don't long for those days. They're not. I mean, it was a time growing up. It was a time in my life that I fondly remember. But I'm not sitting here like, oh my God, I want I want that experience of the grainy.
Can't wait to go back.
I go back to it. But I will admit that with every jump, there's been improvements, but there's also been setbacks as well.
you give up certain things. So it's kind of like, okay, is this gonna
It's a fad.
make it better?
Well-
In terms of okay, I'm gonna give this part up, but we're getting this part.
Well, and a lot of people
with
have
the improvements.
Well, the improvements, but a lot of people have also said that with the jumps, what has happened is like you'll buy a movie, and a lot of fans on the internet of that certain movie will be like, well, wait a minute, the color. The color was,
Yeah, it was off.
The color is off. This was the way it looked naturally on VHS or on DVD, and somehow the jump has changed it somehow, or has messed with it, and or we've lost certain, or with the jumps we've lost certain titles that that may have had a director's cut or an unrated cut, and that has not been ported over. There's been certain things and elements that has changed with each format. Now has a lot of it been for the better? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
But
you're gonna have to suffer, like you make the next jump, but something's got to be left behind at times.
Yes, I completely.
But you
agree.
figure when you go forward, it would be better that you can bring all that stuff with you.
Yes,
You figure that, but not in all cases.
Not in all cases, but to me, it feels like that the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For you guys, let me ask you this. What is your preferred format?
That's a great question. That's a real good question.
Yeah. Is that what
Oh wow.
You mean like?
Are you still a DVD guy? Are you still a Blu-ray guy?
Oh,
Are you a
okay.
4K guy? Are you? Hey, I still buy VHS. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
it.
no longer have a VHS player, so that's definitely.
But you still buy 8mm.
No. Well, my friend, actually, my friend and I one year said, wouldn't it be great if we just picked up a couple titles and,
Yeah.
reenacted, the past, so to speak.
Okay, but
No.
I do
No.
8mm.
But I think for me, at this point, I'd have to go with Blu-ray.
You would be the Blu-ray guy.
Yes, only because of the amount of movies that I enjoy.
Sure.
I have to weigh that against, even though the price has come down on 4K,
It's still
it's still,
Certain titles are more money.
more
Yeah.
money. Yes.
yeah.
So
I have to say right now, probably Blu-ray would be the choice that I would probably stay with.
your answer to all this, John?
All right. Well, I have a ton of Blu-rays, and I'm slowly creeping into. Well, I'm full blown in the 4K.
You're
not gonna
you
lie.
are. You're full blown.
I'm full blown in the 4K.
Yeah, you are.
And I definitely have more Blu-rays than 4K, but I do have a lot of 4Ks right now.
Yes.
Especially with the Steelbooks and just the regular 4Ks. And I'm stuck in between.
So
I
you
know.
don't have a preferred format exactly.
Right. I'll take Blu-ray
Okay.
and the 4K. There's not a lot of underground 4Ks out yet.
No,
Not far
not
as I
really.
Your major studios, your Marvel movies, Universal, they have a lot of 4Ks.
Yeah, big name titles.
They have 4K. What is it called?
What?
4K scans.
Yeah, they have
4K
Blu-rays
scan.
that have 4K scans to them. Yeah.
Yes, I do have a few of those. To me, they just look like a Blu-ray. They do to me.
Sure.
I never understood why they use the 4K. I don't understand that whole thing.
It's complicated. It's complicated, but for you, you're in between.
I'm in
at this
between
point.
right now, but I love Blu-ray
Okay.
and 4K. Some 4K movies to me just look like a Blu-ray movie.
Yeah.
But then there's ones that really stick out, and you're just like, wow.
But my thing about it to me is that with all these formats and everything, physical media has been very strong in the past,
Yes,
but
not.
now of course with streaming,
Yep.
the streaming has overtaken a lot. Now you guys are physical media lovers, as am I. You guys have been through. We've discussed. You've been through all the formats. You've seen the trends.
Yep.
Where does now with streaming, is there for you guys, is that a whole new world to explore? Like with streaming, to say I'm no longer buying a copy of this because I can stream it, and streaming will be much easier than having the copy.
For me, the answer to that is no.
Okay.
I'm just going to take an example, like when Netflix first came out.
Sure.
Okay, a lot of people I knew had it, and they praised it up and down and everything.
Yeah.
So I finally got it, and in the beginning it was like, okay, it offers some different things, but it just, to me, it wasn't the same as having, the DVD or the Blu-ray in hand. Not that there was, there was. I think there was a difference in quality of the picture at times, but it just, I don't think it gives you, at least at this point, the variety.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Sure.
and with me, because I go back, to the 30s, 40s with some titles,
Yeah.
especially in the horror genre again.
Absolutely.
Whereas in today's market, you're getting, what's been made in the last 10, 15
The big popular
years.
movies, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
So they're more selective.
I mean, but for you though, you still stream stuff on Netflix. You still stream stuff through other avenues as well, or not so much.
Not so much anymore.
Okay,
I
not
think
so much.
I think initially it was something new. I wanted
Yeah.
to try it out.
Sure.
But when it came time for a movie to be available,
Yeah.
I'd go out and buy it.
You're going the physical.
Yeah.
And I know for you, John, you're kind of a little half and half. I mean, you love Netflix. You love a lot of stuff on streaming, like Hulu and stuff like that.
I just started. This is the first time I've ever really watched Hulu. Was the other night.
Sure, but
I scanned everything to see what they have. You know what I mean, like under horror and all this, like to see what titles they have.
Yeah. Are you impressed by streaming? Are you impressed by these streaming platforms?
Yes. No.
No. You're
No,
not.
because from what I've seen, when I looked at Netflix and all that, and the only reason why I watched Netflix is because of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And not that there's not any good movies on there, but
Yeah.
all the movies I love, 90 plus are not even on there. And for me, you know what I'm saying? There's horror on there.
Yeah.
But there's ones on there I have never seen, which I do dabble and check certain titles out. But then there's ones I already have. So it's like, there's other, besides horror I watch, well, they have Marvel on Netflix occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally they do.
I have them.
I mean,
So it's just convenience to me. I can sit there in my chair and have like 3 clicks and I can watch a movie.
it's a convenience factor.
It's a convenience
and
factor.
and I think the convenience factor is what makes it popular for a lot of people.
Yes.
I think that's what it
It's a
does.
busy time. It's a busy time in this
People,
life. They want everything kind of handed to them.
look,
That
at
makes
the end of the day, you're working, you've got bills, you've got errands to do, the kids, et cetera, et cetera. Some people, geez, I gotta pick from the collection. Oh God! Or can I just go on Netflix or Hulu or whatever platform and just be like, just a couple clicks on the couch and
But that's
I'm
even
good.
tough deciding what to watch.
Exactly.
So it's like I can just grab behind here, grab whatever I want to watch, which is also tough sometimes because I do the same thing. I'll sit there and look at all my movies and go, I want to watch a movie, but what am I going to watch?
Exactly.
I mean, wow.
But
I can still watch what I want anytime though.
Right.
But my thing about it is like a lot of movies that are premiere on streaming, like whether it's a lot of these like Netflix originals and a lot of stuff that's even going on with Hulu right now and a lot of other stuff. None of that stuff ever really gets put on physical media.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff never really does, and now
Some of it,
some of it does, but now with Disney Plus getting into the game and a lot of stuff like that, they're gonna hold back a lot of physical media releases because why have that stuff out when you can just put it on the streaming platform and people can just watch it there and people can pay the money and watch it there. Why give them a physical copy that they're gonna watch forever when they can watch it through Disney
Yeah, but how
Plus?
long is all that going to be on there though? Some titles.
That's the thing about
You know what I'm saying? Then are they going to bring it to Blu-ray or 4K? Are they going to do that, or they're just going to, like the original Star Wars movies?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
those
Like,
have not yet, but they are considering.
for a while, like the original trilogy, the original one,
Yeah.
on the movie theater, you can't get those.
Right
You
now.
can get them on eBay.
You can get them on eBay. You can get them on VHS. Obviously,
Yeah.
you
People want that.
Yeah, they do. That's
People
not-
want those original ones, the ones where they added the scenes in. A lot of people kind of crap on them.
Well, exactly. And I mean, for you, Van, the thing about it is that when you talk about the 30s and 40s horror movies, I really don't see those on streaming platforms. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Exactly.
I don't like none of that stuff. Like there's stuff that's coming to Blu-ray or has been on DVD and whatnot that I'm like that's never seen the light of day on streaming at all.
Nope.
So
It's fun when you buy all the
Yeah.
social media. It's
so,
fun.
well, it
It's
is.
fun.
But
Well,
I mean,
it's
you know?
it's a nostalgia thing, I think, but also another thing that kind of fits into this. And you, Seth, I've borrowed a lot of movies, from you in the past.
yes, absolutely.
Can't do that if they're streaming.
No, you can't do
You
that.
know?
The streaming, no, you cannot. Not one bit,
I
guys.
have more variety on my shelf.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
because
right.
it's
Absolutely.
not that I don't hate what's on there or not like it. It's just that I have what I like. Dabble in the unknown. I do sometimes.
What the thing about it is that for me, and I find it, that there's a lot of movies that I have on Blu-ray and DVD that I didn't find through streaming. I found
No.
through people like you or John or other people that said,
Word of mouth.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
I think you'd really dig this.
Mhm.
Here,
Yeah.
I can't go to you, John, and be
Yeah.
like, hey, yeah, by the way, Netflix has this great thing. Like you,
Yeah.
that, like you'd be like, well, that's great, but maybe I don't have Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't, I think streaming has become very popular out of the convenience factor.
It's
You are
convenience.
right.
It's convenience. That's what it is, and I understand it. But for myself, it's not for me.
And for me, I remember the initial reasoning for wanting Netflix was not even so much the variety of movies.
Sure.
It was the Marvel, the like the miniseries, the Daredevil, the
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, right?
And Stranger Things.
Yeah, and Stranger
I
Things.
remember telling them you got to watch Stranger
You know,
Things.
Yeah.
And that's how they got you into
That's
it.
what
There.
first got me into that.
Yeah.
And then the movies were kind of later on, but still, even when I go on Netflix, which seems to be less and less, I tend to zero in on either the sci-fi or the horror.
That's
Sure.
what I do.
Now, for you guys, because pricing has always been an issue. Netflix has raised the prices at times.
Yeah.
Do you find that at a certain point with the pricing that you're just gonna be out, like you're done, like you see these digital platforms that have it, and you're like, do I go with a subscription service or do I just say screw it and just say I'm just gonna stick with what I got and they're just not gonna take my money anymore?
Wow. Well, I mean, the money to me, if is not a problem.
Yeah.
If there's
But
a lot of stuff on there I like, I have no problem paying for it.
But are you getting your money's worth? I guess.
Well, that's a great question. If you like everything on there, yes.
Okay,
you get
sure.
your money's worth. You know what I'm saying? And I know that they drop titles and add to them.
Yeah.
But like I said before, there's only one reason why I have Netflix, and especially in July when it comes out, Stranger Things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that-
saying?
that-
So
I
that's-
get it, I get it.
I'll get it for that.
That's why
You know
you
what I'm
get it.
saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then later on, they'll have it on
They'll
DVD or
add-
4K.
And
Right.
other stuff too.
You know.
No,
but
I get it, man.
but-
It's
I had the trial thing, and when that gone, it left, and I haven't got it since. You know.
I do love Netflix. I do love all that stuff. I feel like there's a lot of great content on there.
Yeah.
But again, it's the point of there's a lot of movies on there that is great. But again, every single month there's stuff that comes and there's stuff that goes.
Limited.
And it's limited. So if you're a fan of a certain movie and you watch it a lot, and then it's gone, you're like,
Well, how am I gonna watch it again?
access it?
Yeah.
There's one thing that Netflix does that I kind of like. They'll almost gear what is available towards your interests.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
they see, and I don't know the technicalities behind it, but if they see that you're constantly watching horror movies,
Sure.
okay, they will put out I don't know if they'll put out more, but they'll try to give you a more of a variety to choose
Or
from.
maybe
Recommendation.
like a recommendation to
Yeah.
say, hey, look, by the way, you've watched
If you like this,
Yep.
watch this.
try this.
Those work out great. There is a lot of great suggestions on there. It's just tough because
There's good and bad.
there's good and bad to
Yeah.
everything. There's good and bad to physical media. There's good and bad
Yeah.
to streaming. And you know, the problem is that with physical media, look, physical media is becoming more niche.
Yeah.
It's becoming more. It's shrinking,
It is.
and a lot of titles that you can find on maybe DVD, you can't find on Blu-ray.
No.
Right.
And
Yeah.
there's certain titles that you can find on VHS that you just can't find on DVD. And so I think at a certain point for me it becomes a thing of like how long is physical media going to stay around? Because that's the thing. Because
And they better put those titles. They take those titles, and they better put it on streaming then.
exactly.
You know what I mean? How you gotta have right. You know, there's so many movies out there. They have to be on streaming. If they're gonna go all the way streaming, you gotta have all those movies. I would think you would. You can't limit movies. I mean,
You can't,
No.
but at the same time, as you said, man, there's those 30s and 40s horror movies that some are actually finally coming on Blu-ray, but a lot
Right.
of them, I'm sure you haven't found some of them yet.
Some are just starting to come out now.
Exactly.
I mean, literally just coming out now. And the one thing that I've noticed is they're very expensive.
They are
They're more
and
expensive than your your
Probably.
regular DVD, Blu-ray.
'cause it probably costs a lot of money to get those titles from
I-
the studio.
I think
Yeah.
I think the price point is the problem. I
Yeah.
think the price point when you have these companies, and look, as much as I love Screen Factory, as much as I love all these places, you're charging 30,
Mhm.
Yeah, they
35 and whatnot.
Their
and,
movies are getting more expensive. I've noticed.
and you have to now choose.
Yeah.
I know for you, John, you've been like, well, I wanted this one, but I may have to wait. I may have to.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I don't mind spending $35 for a movie.
yeah.
Yes and no, but it's got to be. I just think they have to do a good job with it. I mean, what's the point? I mean, picture quality. Like I always bring that up.
Yes.
You know, like Scream. Their picture quality is decent at times, but I have a few titles that I paid $30 for, and I'm going like, wow.
And you feel like you
I'm
like
like,
what?
wow.
Just why?
Wow, it's not-
exactly.
Like we can agree on Swamp Thing and another
Oh,
title.
oh yeah, other titles.
It
Sure.
looks just like a barely Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and I spent $26 for it, and I'm
It's
going
tough.
like, wow, I understand those companies, they have to survive, and they got great titles, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
They finally come to Blu-ray, but wow,
You want the physical media copy,
$30, but I mean,
Yeah.
I mean that's
if
tough.
you give, like I said, I'm about quality, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the only downfall I see.
It's almost gotten to the point where you have to be more selective.
Yeah.
Because I'll look at say the B movies from the 50s and 60s.
Sure.
A lot of those I liked. I grew up with them.
Yeah.
Okay, black and white. I don't care.
Sure.
That's the first TV set we had was black and white.
Like what? Sure.
But I realize that there's no way that I'm going to be able to financially get every single movie
No.
I
No.
grew up with. you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
So,
It's-
but when I see something that's just being released and it was like a favorite from back then,
Yeah.
then I get
Then
then I really want to have it.
And you get it. It's
Gotta get it.
It's definitely about picking and choosing.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, guys, with all this being said, what happens if physical media dies? Let's say physical media dies because look, let's be perfectly honest here. when I'm doing the out and abouts and everything, I'm seeing less and less
Yep.
stuff.
Mhm.
I've seen Target shrink down their movie sections. I've heard from a lot of people out there who have told me that their Best Buys have limited the movies. I've heard it all, and everyone's talking about doom and gloom. Everyone's talking about the idea that Samsung is now out of the player game. They're not gonna make any more Blu-ray or 4K players. And there's been a lot of articles out there that have said it's done, dead, it's gone. And so
Not yet.
now the real question becomes: more people are streaming. Streaming's becoming more and more popular. So now it's on to the idea of it's no longer maybe about whether or not digital is going to overtake physical media. We're already there. It's no longer whether or not physical media can catch up, because we know it won't.
Right.
The real question is, will physical media survive? I mean, what do you guys think?
Yes.
You think so? Yes. You're just that's the sad.
I'm hoping.
You're hoping.
I hope
You're
it.
just,
I hope.
You're just hoping beyond hope at this
Yes.
point.
I think, and the comparison that I'll make is when laser discs
Oh, boy.
first came out.
Yeah, they
Okay.
were. Yeah.
That was
around.
like the in thing, you gotta get the laser disc
Yeah,
player, and
I forgot about that.
but since our stores sold the laser disc,
Yeah.
I saw how limited the variety was.
Yeah.
What type of movies you could get. It was one of those things that came and went.
Yeah.
It was a fad. So to speak.
Yes, it was a fad. It is.
With Blu-ray, I think because the amount of people that are involved
Yeah.
with it,
Sure.
I'm not saying that Blu-ray will be around forever, but you've got enough people out there, I think,
Yeah.
still
Sure.
that like that format, like the physicality of having a copy of a movie, that if it does happen, I think it's going to take quite a while for it to happen.
I think for me, it's because I've heard from a lot of people out there that have told me that they only buy DVD. That's where their preferred thing is.
Yes.
DVD. Some people is
Well, there's a
only-
cost
only-
factor, too.
and it's a cost factor as well. But I see a lot of these companies, a lot of these niche companies like a Vinegar Syndrome, Code Red, Severin, Scream Factory, Kino Lorber,
Yeah.
all of these ones, Scorpion Releasing, and the idea that they're putting out these very niche products that they know a lot of these titles may not sell incredibly well.
Mhm.
They know it.
Yeah.
But they're putting it out there because they know there's a collector market out there.
Hardcore fans.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where this whole thing is going, into a collector market. I mean, it's probably already really there at this point anyway.
Yeah, well, a lot of movies that are worth a lot. That if you go look on Amazon or eBay, like Blu-rays that are like even record titles they want a good sized amount of money for them.
They
Yeah.
do.
The demand for them is there.
The demand is there.
And that's another thing with streaming. If you decide to, you can sell your DVD collection, you can sell your Blu-ray,
Yeah.
collection. Streaming,
You're not gonna get.
Well, the digital codes. People are very big on digital
Never
codes,
used one in my life.
and digital codes are a very big thing. But again, what's happened in the past is some of those places that people use for digital codes have now gone. They've gone away. They've just been closed down or whatever. It's really tough because I think with streaming it's almost like what Napster was very early on for with music and everything. It's a whole it's still so early in its infancy. No one really, I mean, no one really knows where it's gonna land right now.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity out there, and with physical media, I feel like the opportunities might not be as much there as they used to be. And I feel like what we have is what we have. We may get 8K, we may get that, but you've even said, John, to me, you even said that you're like, yeah, but if we get those newer formats, some of that stuff that's come out previously on other formats might not get ported over.
Like Blu-ray, like all these movies we love. Okay, streaming takes over. Just say streaming takes over and everything else is gone.
Yeah.
People go into streaming and they're looking for certain movies and they're not going to be there. Are they, like, where's that movie?
Hey, exactly.
You're going to be limited if they're not going to put all that stuff on there.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be like, if you just say Friday 13th or some of the Freddy's.
Sure.
What if they're not all on there? What if they have like, the first Friday 13th and Dream Wars and just say they have 4?
Sure.
Just say that's all they have.
Yeah.
How am I going to watch the rest of them?
Yeah.
I mean, they better expand streaming.
They have to expand it. They
to
have
get everything, because that's why I have my physical media, because I can watch them anytime I want. All the movies I love, I'm not going to,
Exactly. And I think that's the important thing about it, is that, but again, it's the idea of what is going to be available, when is it going to be available?
That's the big question, yep.
And I mean, I've heard even, I mean, you even told me, you said this was like 5 or 6 years ago. You said 5 years from now, DVD is gone. DVD is gone.
Yep.
And we're not gonna have DVD anymore. We're just gonna,
We still have DVD.
But you were very confident of like, hey, DVD is gonna go the way of VHS.
That's the way the pattern was since I was young. VHS, everything, every maybe decade or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just a new thing, and
but DVD stuck around.
DVD stuck around. And I'm happy actually.
Yeah, happy
because I do buy a DVD occasionally.
And it's worth it. It's still, physical media is still worth it to us guys. It still is very much something that we love.
Very important.
It's very important. As much as I love streaming, as much as I love going on Netflix, and people are very open about wanting digital codes and everything. At the end of the day, physical media for me is still something that I prefer. But I'm not gonna lie, because I look at both formats and I see the benefits. I see the
positive
benefits.
and negative of both.
I see the positives and negatives of both. So to wrap this up, let me ask both of you this question. If push comes to shove, if physical media dies, if Blu-ray is gone, if 4K is no longer a legit money-making thing for these companies, if it all goes away, are you satisfied enough with streaming at this point that you're comfortable with just turning yourself over to the streaming market?
No.
No.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No,
No,
because
no.
I think a lot of it has to do with, the fact that I am older, that I have seen a lot of these things be introduced, and then
go away.
Like cassettes and CDs. It's
Well,
the same kind of thing.
yeah.
But a lot of that is just the nature of this time period, and everything evolves.
Sure.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
Whether you want it to or not, to a degree, it's just a matter of, okay, what's the public going to want? Because these companies
it's the companies that
are
That's what we
only
want.
going to do, in my opinion, what's going to make money for their company.
that's exactly.
So it's not about the actual
Product itself.
it's not about the movie itself.
I think a lot of that is true.
It's about, so a company like a Scream Factory or some of these other labels, or even these big labels like Universal or something, they have a huge vault of Universal horror titles that the fans really want out there, and they look on their books and they say, Yeah, Dracula with Bela Lugosi is a real time. We'll definitely put that one out. But Dracula's daughter and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Diehards want that out there. People, you know what I'm saying?
They do. But to Van's point,
They look
Yeah.
at money.
They
They
look at money.
What sells
Yeah,
first.
exactly.
And that's sad.
it's a sad thing.
You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of it has to do with what you personally grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, because you can name off some of these titles to people, this generation.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And they're like, huh?
Yeah,
They have no clue.
They have no
and I'm not
clue.
saying that's right or wrong.
Sure.
I'm just saying it has a meaning or a different meaning to the people that have experienced it.
Sure. And I think that it's morphing and it's changing, and the meanings are changing, and I think I don't want, the one thing I always talk about is I don't want these movies to be forgotten. And
That's the thing I'm afraid of. You know what I'm
And-
saying? Like if you go full streaming,
and I feel like with streaming, there's a chance that can happen.
Absolutely.
I don't get it. Why? If, you know what I'm saying? Why not make those movies available? It'll just get. If you want streaming to be more, huge,
Yeah.
like it is now,
Yeah.
you have to put more titles. I don't want to be limited to what Netflix just has or Hulu. Not everything's on there. There's going to be a ton of movies that are not available. But guess what? I have them. The
Yeah,
ones,
you have 'em.
all the movies I love, I
Yeah.
buy.
'Cause you
Yeah.
get the physical copy.
because they're all going to be physical copies.
Yeah.
You have
I have everything I love.
You have everything.
That's all I need.
You love, and that's all you need. So for
Yeah.
you, it's physical all
the way.
all
the way.
all the way. There's benefits, there's disadvantages, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. At the end of the day, it's really about where does the love for physical media and streaming, where do the lines blur?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's something that's very very interesting.
Absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. That's one of the things
Absolutely.
like that. Like you look at
Physical.
physical copy, a physical copy in your hand.
Yes.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It's on the shelf. It looks good,
Yep.
and it's something that streaming can't offer, guys.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it
It's your
depends on
choice.
preference.
It's your
It
choice.
depends on preference. Whether you really want to invest the time and energy into your own personal collection, or you want to be at the will of these companies who stream.
I'll go personal
You'll go personal.
collection.
They're making you watch what they want you to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
I hate to say it.
Have a brain
but,
for yourself.
What?
Like I said, I've seen so many changes and things disappear
Yes.
that I thought at the time, well, this is going to be around forever.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
It's something I think people don't understand that quite yet, or a certain amount of people do, but not enough people do at this point, and that's why I'm always out there saying physical media, man, physical media. It's something to cherish. It's something to hold. It's something to grasp onto, because at the end of the day, you will have a movie that you love that sometimes, if it's on streaming, you really love, and then suddenly a company takes that movie away,
Yeah.
and you no longer have that on streaming.
You never
Whereas
see
if you,
something you like.
if you have a physical copy, like something like The Black Cat. The Black Cat is a great little title here from Lucio Fulci. This is not on streaming.
No.
This is not on streaming.
No.
This is a physical
Not
copy. man.
guaranteed to be on streaming either.
Yes, it's one of those things, man. You want it. You want it.
variety.
You love it, man. It's a variety. It's a variety of titles. It's what you love. Streaming can't always give that to you,
Right.
but it depends on the individual.
Mhm.
And sometimes,
Yes.
and then sometimes streaming is more convenient, and it's whether convenience versus actually, like, putting the effort in.
Yep.
That's what
I don't
it's
think
about.
it's much
there.
effort to me, but
Well,
well, I'm saying
it's
you
not
know,
much effort to John, but
well, I just go buy it or
Walk
order
3
online.
feet and put it in the DVD player. You know?
DVD player, but then,
No, I'm availability. I'm talking about. We can
Availability.
order it different ways.
yeah,
We
Yeah.
can, Best Buy might have the title. It's shrinking there,
it's
you know,
shrinking.
but they have titles. Sometimes I'm shocked that they have them.
And it's almost like, okay, look at the stores that used to carry
Yep.
these things.
A lot of them are gone.
Look what's happening to them.
A lot of them are gone.
Yeah, or in the process of.
Blockbusters. There's
Yeah.
only one left in
Yes.
an entire world.
Yes.
There's
That's
almost,
renting. Yeah, that's rent movies.
But that's
yeah.
renting. But it's still physical media.
It is still
Yeah.
physical media. Yeah.
It's physical media, but again,
I love that. I love Best Buy back in the day.
I love all that stuff. But I think again, it's just the fact of times change, and the way that we take in our media has changed, and you either grow with the times, or you
You're
don't.
left behind.
Or you get left behind.
Yeah.
Me behind.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna leave John behind
Well,
here.
you know,
we're-
it's,
Hey.
I want to watch the movies I like.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
You know,
I get it.
I'm just not
I
gonna
do
watch
get
a
it.
movie just
I do
because
get
it's the in movie, or just I'll check it out, but
Yeah.
you know, I want to watch my horror. You know, like
I know you do. I
Your
know you do.
B and your those.
And believe me, Seth has some titles that no one on the face of this earth has ever heard of.
Yeah, but that's good.
And exactly. I'm not passing judgment. And I've
No, I
borrowed
know that.
some of those movies.
Yeah,
And
Scratch
like,
your head.
oh, you know.
me too. But you know what?
I'm glad
I
I
discovered
did
a lot
it.
of movies.
You
I
know?
discovered a lot of movies that I've never seen before that I end up loving.
Yeah.
And I've shown John some titles,
Yep.
by the way, guys, that he looks at me like I'm fucking weird. And,
Well,
and,
I mean, I
and-
just
and-
never
and-
heard of it. I never heard of every movie
Yeah.
out there, but that's good because it's a title that I've never.
Yeah.
I either heard growing up of the title, but never seen it.
Right.
Like Demons. Growing up, I've
Yeah.
always wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it, and then I watched it. Jack Frost.
Jack Frost, you
Yeah.
loved, but to conclude this, guys, there is one title that I lent John that when he brought it back to me, he looked at me like I was fucking nuts.
Oh,
Okay. Let me in here.
no, not like you, not like you're nuts. No,
You can't keep this between the two of you.
The movie is called Frankenhooker.
Oh.
No,
That's one that I borrowed from you, by the way.
I did wrong.
I've seen, yeah.
I like it.
See, I like a lot of movies like that, but it just didn't hit me. It didn't hit me right.
But
You know what I'm
that's okay
saying?
though. But
But that's good though.
But
Yeah.
but it's giving you the physical copy and saying
Yes,
it's here.
yes.
Yeah, try
Because
it.
if I loved it,
Yeah,
I liked it, I'd go and buy it.
Yes.
And then I got another movie in my collection
Yes.
that I love.
yeah.
That's the point of it.
It's about the preference that you guys pick. For us, it's definitely physical media all the way, guys. Definitely.
And if you ever see Seth, ask him about his favorite movie, Punisher Warzone.
No,
He'll really-
no,
he'll
not
really-
Punisher Warzone. Not Punisher Warzone, guys. Never, no way. Do not listen to this man, okay? No way whatsoever, okay?
Very
No
good.
way. Forget about that movie. Garbage.
I've got it.
It was honestly an absolute blast talking with those guys about physical media and streaming, just talking about our thoughts on it all and the history and just getting to have a blast talking with those guys about the topics, man. And I really appreciated their thoughts in a big bad way. And even though we're more physical media fans than digital, there really is no denying that physical is just losing the battle against digital. It really is. I mean, AT&T is doing their own streaming service. Disney Plus is coming down the pike as well. I know there's a lot of other studios and companies that are doing their own digital services. I mean, it just feels like it really is a losing battle at this point. I mean, if you really think about it. I mean, it was always fascinating to me because I looked at when you leave the theatrical experience behind, after 3 months we get the DVDs and Blu-rays in our hand. After about 3 month time frame of going from the theatrical experience to the home entertainment experience, that's about 3 months time. That shrank a lot over the years. It used to be sometimes 6 months or even up to a year at that point, guys. But what you're also noticing now is that the digital comes out about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the physical copies. That is now starting to happen. And now what's going to happen even more from what I'm gathering is a lot of these companies like Disney and a lot of these other studios like Warner Brothers and everything, from what I gather, they are thinking about putting the movies on digital streaming platforms the same day as the theatrical experience. So you have a choice of either going theatrical or just sitting at home and doing the theatrical experience on a streaming platform at your own house. So in some ways they're cutting out physical media completely because they're saying, hey, look, by the way, it's going to be another 3 or 4 months by the time it's actually going to hit disc, and they're hoping that you guys honestly forget that it's even going to hit a physical copy. You guys are just going to be like, hey, I have it on the streaming platform, why would I ever need the physical copy at all? That's what these companies are really wanting from you guys. Now, if you guys like the digital experience, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, guys. You have a right to like that experience, and it's still a pleasant experience to have. But you can't forget about the physical as well. You can't forget about that. And I feel like these companies and these studios, they want us to lose focus on the physical. I think both can go hand in hand. I think both can go hand in hand. I think you can have a lot of great options through the digital, but I think you also need both to complement each other really well. It's basically what I'm saying, guys. And for me, I try to look at both sides of the argument. I try to look at the good and bad on each side, and I think that you can have a healthy relationship of both together. But I feel like there will come a time, guys, and I am not going to lie here. There will come a time where physical may no longer be an option. I do I think it's going to happen in 5 years? No, I don't think it's going to happen in 5 years. Will it happen in 10? That might be a possibility. I remember people telling me, again, like 5 or 10 years ago, oh, DVDs no longer going to be around. They're going to discontinue DVDs. Well, that has never happened. So where did the trends go? Honestly, if I had a magic, magic 8 ball and I could predict the future, I would probably be a millionaire at this point, guys. But honestly, I'm not. I can only go with what I see. And from what I see, the future does not look bright for physical media, but I am still always going to be a fan, guys. I'm still always going to buy physical media. The movies that I love will be on my shelf, will be on disc for sure, guys. And I'm sure you guys agree as well. But not everything needs to be on disc either. Sometimes just getting the streaming copy or the digital copy is just as good as well. So again, there's both points of the argument. It depends on what side you guys are on. Definitely let me know what you guys think of the whole argument, the whole debate here, physical media versus streaming. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are, guys. This was a really healthy and wonderful discussion. I loved making this video. Definitely let me know what you guys think. And if you're new to the channel, well, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely check out the other stuff that's on the channel, guys. The Blu-ray and DVD out and about videos I do every single Tuesday. The Blu-ray pickup videos I do every single month, as well as the theatrical movie reviews I do with my friends as well. I am a lover of physical media and a lover of movies. If you love what I do, definitely hit subscribe and be a part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank my subscribers, guys. You are absolutely amazing and awesome. I love the comments. I love the feedback. I love everything you guys give me. You definitely bring new and interesting points of view that sometimes I didn't even think of. I love you guys so much, man. The Film Fan Nation absolutely rocks. And if you love what I do, definitely hit subscribe, guys. And again, keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, FilmFan108. Keep up to date with what I do and what I'm posting, as well as special videos and pictures I do from time to time on social media as well. This was a really great discussion, guys. I really loved talking about this topic. Let me know what other topics you would like for me to talk about. I definitely am interested to hear if you guys want me to delve into other interesting avenues and topics. Definitely would love to hear your suggestions, guys. And I will be back next time for another video. Take care, guys. Happy hunting and enjoy movies no matter what you do, digital or physical. Take care, everybody.